My name is Cheryl, and I work for Access, and I am here today with Cammie Van Halst. And hi, Cammie.
Hi.
And Cammie is from the band named appropriately Van Halst. And am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Cool, great. And Cammie and her band are from Canada. And can you tell me a little bit about the band, what your sound is, and who the other members in the band are?
Sure. So we're kind of a hard rock metal fusion band is kind of how we explain it. A bit of a hybrid of Evanescence meets In This Moment kind of slammed together. So lots of melodic melodies and lots of vocal stamina, but we definitely add the extreme vocals and the growling and that stuff as well.
Okay.
Which we like to have kind of a unique blend.
Sure.
The band members, there's myself doing all the vocals. A lot of people don't believe that I'm doing the growling and the screamo, but that is me.
I did listen to some of your music and watch your videos, and I saw that was the case. That was awesome.
Yeah, that is me. And so Scott Green plays guitar, and he's absolutely amazing. They're all absolutely amazing. Brett Seaton is our drummer. He's the kid in the band.
Okay.
And Brendan McMillan is our bass player.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so those are the guys.
All right. And so we were talking about that one of them is from My Darkest Days previously. I didn't know that. So.
Yeah, Brendan. He was.
So now, are any of the other people in the band, are they also from bands that we might know, or is this kind of their first major band that they're playing in?
Well, for the drummer, for Brett, this is his first major project that I'm aware of. Scott has been involved with a variety of projects over the years.
Okay.
Right now, he is playing with a few other people, but not in the hard rock metal scene. So I think this is definitely the first of this kind for him as well.
Okay, great. So you're coming out now. You're a new band, and you have an album coming out on March 4th called World of Make Believe, and you have a video. I assume this is your first single, Save Me.
Yep.
And I understand this is your first video that you've made for the band.
For this band, yes. Yeah.
So
the first one with these guys.
Now, did you come up with the concept for that yourself, or did the whole band? How do you generally, and for your songs, do you all write together? And come up with concepts, or do you have what is your system for that?
It's kind of always different. For World of Make Believe, for the entire album, it was written primarily with me and Scott.
Okay.
And then my sister, who's also a musician, helped us with 2 of the tracks as well.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, just a big family. So typically what happens with writing, or at least what happens with that album, as our process is always evolving, is Scott and I would sit down with an idea. So, for example, for Save Me, we really wanted to talk about religion. So, we kind of just had a conversation about how we felt about that topic, and he kind of plays around on his guitar and comes up with some great riff ideas, and we kind of develop it from there. And once we have something that's working for the 2 of us, then we'll give it to the other band members so that they can add their part.
Okay. So
we would all get together.
So eventually it's kind of a group effort. The beginning or the starting was with you and Scott, and then you kind of let everyone add in their elements, which is really nice.
Yeah, exactly. We want everybody to feel that they're really a part of the project and that their voice is heard and that their talent is shown. And I mean, they have to like the songs as much as anyone else.
Sure.
So,
you have to play them for a long time sometimes.
Exactly. You hope you do.
Especially if you look at some artists that have been around for years and years, like the Rolling Stones. They've been playing the same songs for how many years, right? So
yeah, exactly.
You have to like what you're playing, right?
Yes, you do.
So you have some tour dates for in Canada, and so I'm from the United States. I'm from Michigan, so that leads me to the question: will you be able to play some dates in the United States, and when do you think that might be?
Well, we're definitely working on it. We're looking at a couple show possibilities kind of closer to the, Ontario border, so New York, New Jersey, Detroit, Chicago. But, you never know. We're starting to get a couple offers, and,
nice.
We're looking at them and hoping to get down there, ideally in the end of the summer, maybe the fall. Would be a great time, I think, for us to head down there and do some shows.
Absolutely, with sort of your Gothic look. That would be, a great thing for the Halloween time and the fall. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I love your style. I mean, I was looking at all the photos of you, and just you really have, an awesome style for that Gothic look. And do you pick your own clothes and design your own clothes?
We as a collective, as a group, we decide on the look and feel of the project as far as, the clothing, and I mean, I do the makeup, and I do the makeup on the guys too.
Okay.
And we kind of all sat down and brainstormed ideas of what we wanted to do, and it keeps evolving. It keeps getting heavier and darker.
Sure.
I can't take the credit for the photos. We have the most amazing photographer, Renee Robin, who handles all of our photography, and she really gives us that signature look as far as the photos are concerned. And she did all the photos, including the underwater photography that we have.
Nice.
So, she's a big part of the aesthetic.
She did a really wonderful job. I mean, the photos were beautiful. And I think that's a big thing now. There's still a lot of bands that play that don't think that they have to have a style. And I also take photos as well as writing and doing interviews. And when you're taking photos at a show, that's such an important element with the music. And so there's just some bands you just want to photograph them because they have that style. And that's such a big part. So I whenever I see a band that can put their music with a great style, I just think that's the best. And you guys have obviously nailed that because you look great. So
thank you.
And it makes it interesting, that a photographer can work with that. And like you said, you have this amazing photographer who's really brought all the good things out, that you're doing. And so it's really, really great. Now, will she go on the road with you at all and take live photos, or is she someone that just does the still photos?
Thus far for us, she's only done still photos. All the live photos we have were done by another amazing photographer, Cassandra Rudolph, here in Toronto, and she's been to a few of our shows. We'd like to bring her out to get, the live photography done. As far as I know, I mean, Renee kind of travels all over the place taking these amazing photos. So unless, there's a big budget for the tour, I don't know if we'd be able to have her.
You might not be able to afford her, right?
Yeah.
Well, and also too, some photographers are strictly still photo. They don't do the live photography. So, and also too, I'm sure when you do shows, you'll have people like me coming out to cover those shows, and then you'll have a lot of people taking live photos, which is nice. When you start seeing your photos all over, right, as part of articles, that's a good thing. Good promotion.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We usually end up with a handful of great photos from every show that I see on social media, so that's kind of a cool feeling.
So, so that we can look forward to that. Fans can go on your Facebook and your Instagram, different social media. They can like your pages, and then they can keep track of your tour dates. And for those of us in the U.S., we can keep an eye out to see when you guys are going to come here. And fans can. Are you on iTunes and what do you have your music on right now? All the kind of regular.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere.
Amazon
iTunes for sure. Yeah, Amazon. Bandcamp. Yeah, I think pretty much everywhere you can find it.
So people can get your album on March 4. It's not quite out yet, and they can go ahead and check out your Save Me video on YouTube, and I'm sure it's posted as well on your Facebooks and web pages, probably everywhere. Everywhere you are, you can probably get access to that. So, who were some of your influences when you were growing up? Do you have any particular people that were a big influence that affected your how you play now?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, when I was younger and really starting to realize that music was really, really what I wanted to do with my life, it was kind of that Sunset Strip glam metal that really got me hooked on rock and roll. Bon Jovi was a huge influence to me growing up. I think that's my mom's fault.
Yeah.
She's awesome, and she, brought a lot of, we were always listening to music, and she's a big fan of Bon Jovi, probably the biggest fan.
Right.
And she was always listening to him and to Motley Crue and to Atlanta Miles and Metallica, and just really cool bands and music. So she got me hooked on rock and roll on a young age, and as I grew older, my taste kind of became heavier. I think the very first heavy band I got into was Killswitch Engage when I was in high school.
Okay.
And now I am a huge fan of Shinedown. Is probably my biggest influence, actually, and a lot of people are surprised because they're not necessarily really, really heavy.
Right.
But I've never seen a better band live, and just socially conscious lyrics and the vocals, everything about them blows my mind. And
when I think of them, I think powerful. Don't you think they're extremely powerful band?
Very powerful. Brett Smith is amazing. And I love in this moment, Maria Brink is the goddess. She's, what I aspire to. Her voice is absolutely amazing. And again, just a band that is very powerful and very demanding. And, they're talking about important issues, and they have fun songs, and they have serious songs, and they're all over. And then recently I've been listening to a lot of Motionless in White, which I really like. So I'm a little all over the spectrum, but still really in hard rock.
I think most musicians are. I mean, if you're not listening to what's out there, then you're missing out on a lot of different things that could influence you and help you with your music. So, it's good. It's good to have a variety of tastes, I guess, for lack of a better word. So do you think it's hard? There are not a lot of women in the really heavy metal. There's a few. Were they influences on you as well? I guess like Evanescence and some of those types of bands. Did you listen to them growing up?
Yeah, I love Joan Jett. She was probably Joan Jett and Atlanta Miles are my earliest memories of female and rock and roll.
Okay.
Evanescence, yes, I loved and still love Evanescence, and actually get compared to them all the time.
Right. I can definitely see that the influence
my
there.
voice is similar, but that's a beautiful band. And you know, there's other bands that I know that I love, like Kitty was another one, and they're Canadian that I really liked. Cobra and the Lotus. There's a few out there. There's not as many, but they're definitely out there. And underrated, actually.
Yes, yeah. Usually they are. Usually they are. So it's great that you're out there, and you know, a great example for girls growing up now and listening to music. A good, you know, that they can see that you're doing it. So everybody has that opportunity to make that their dream, right? So that's awesome. So do you play an instrument? Do you play any instruments yourself? I know you're the lead singer, but do you also play as well?
I dabbled in guitar. I actually played rhythm guitar and sang in a band that I was with a few years back. But now I'm straight up vocals.
Okay. I mean, a lot of singers don't like to be encumbered with having to worry about, you know, playing a guitar or you know, doing something while they're performing, and I would think it would be really hard to play the guitar while you're trying to perform. So
yeah, I know some people and they're amazing at it. I have a lot of female singing friends that play piano and perform in rock bands, and they kill it. And I just don't like to be tied down to an instrument.
Sure.
I move a lot on stage. I get a little crazy, and I feel like I might break something.
Right, or you know that you're not playing your part at the exact time that you're supposed to be, or seems like that would be kind of tough. So, do you have a favorite venue that you play? Maybe a hometown venue, or do you just like the variety of going to different places?
A lot of my favorite venues that I have played aren't around anymore, which is sad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
I played the Whiskey Go-Go a few years back.
Okay.
In LA, and that was probably my favorite.
Okay, that sounds like, you know, that's just like a really classic, you know, place to play, where probably a lot of the people that you love, performers, have played there, right? So
exactly. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, it is really cool when you go into some of these older venues. Where I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is about 3 hours from Chicago. So when I go to Chicago or even to Detroit, there's some of these really old venues like the Fillmore or the Riviera in Chicago. There's quite a few older venues, and they're just really beautiful. And you go in, and I'm sure you have the same thing where you're at, and just the photos you can get in there.